What's up everybody, Jared here with carbuzz.com, and today I am bringing you a review of the 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 HD. So GMC has facelifted its entire HD lineup, both the 2500 and 3500 HD models for the 2024 model year. You're going to see a lot of changes on the exterior, a lot of changes on the interior, and even a few changes under the hood, which we are going to dive into. This particular truck is the Denali Ultimate. So we first saw that GMC introduced a trim above the Denali on the Sierra 1500, and now you are able to get the Denali Ultimate package on a 2500 series truck. This is the most expensive version of the 2500 HD that you can buy, so the exterior is going to reflect that. We've got, like with most Denali trims, we've got a black GMC badge. I think that looks so cool how they take the normal red GMC logo and they black it out. And then that is surrounded by this really cool Vader chrome grille. I think this is a great looking grille. It is extremely large because this is a 2500 series truck. We also have LED headlights with LED running lights as well. We've got this cool hood scoop here on the grille, and then we've got our hooks, our towing hooks down here in chrome. Just a really cool looking truck overall. If you want that intimidating dark finish, this is definitely going to be it. You're going to get standard 20-inch wheels on the Denali Ultimate. As you'd expect, there are a bunch of different wheel options that you can get from GMC for this truck. We've got our big Denali HD badge right here, and then here you can see we have the Ultimate badge letting us know that we have the top truck that's possible with an Allison transmission and a Duramax diesel engine. That is going to be the only engine option available on the Denali Ultimate. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Now the 2500 series is available in 3 sizes. You can get a regular cab, a double cab, or this crew cab model. Now the Denali Ultimate only comes as a crew cab. You can't get it any smaller. You can get a long bed or a standard bed on the double and crew models, but you can only get the long bed on the regular cab, which I think makes sense. Now the long bed is going to be just over 98 inches, and the short bed, the standard bed, is about 82 inches. So something to think about if you want the long bed. This is just going to be the standard bed that we see here. Obviously this truck is very tall, which is why when we open up the doors, you'll see we have our power retractable running boards, making it a lot easier to get in and out of this truck. Trust me, those are going to be a necessity. You also have a side step here. It's going to make it a lot easier to hop into the bed if you need to grab something quickly. We've also got integrated bed steps here on the side, making it easy to just put your foot up, grab something quickly. But we also have GMC's Multi-Pro tailgate. That is going to be standard on most of the trims. On SLE and above are going to get this Multi-Pro tailgate as standard. So let me give you a refresher on how it works. So the Multi-Pro tailgate functions in 2 ways. If you click this button, it's going to drop down like a normal tailgate. But if you push this top button only this portion of the bed is going to drop. So now if you have something long that needs to stick out, you can do that. Or if you need something long that you think is going to fall out, you can lift up this portion, and now you have kind of like a bed stop, which is quite nice. So we can go ahead and put that down. I'm going to show you how it drops down normally. Just click this button and it'll drop down normally. Now you have a normal bed. You can go ahead and put this up as a bed stop. So now you have basically an extended bed, which is quite nice. Or you can reach down and now you can drop this portion. Now I can have closer access to my bed. Or if I need to get all the way up in there, I fold this down. Now I have a nice bed step. I also have this handle that deploys like so I can use this to help myself get up. And you might notice that you also have a kicker speaker system built into the bed here, which is awesome if you're having a tailgate party. I don't have anything too crazy to show you here in the back seat. This is a full crew cab model, so obviously we have the most leg room possible in one of these trucks. We've got the same nice leather that we had up front with the topography here on the back. Very cool look. You've got, GM likes to do the storage inside of the seat. I think you could imagine what you'd want to put in here with this hidden storage. We can also lift up the seats, and we've got some storage under here. It's not quite as multi-flex as what Ford offers, where you can kind of collapse this and have a completely flat floor, but it is really easy to just go ahead and put these back down. We do have our own air vents back here. We've got a USB-C and USB port with heated seats, no ventilated seat. That is one thing Ram still offers that General Motors does not. But as you can see, we do have plenty of room back here. I like this little touch. We've got more topography here on the back of the seat. So this is definitely a place I wouldn't mind spending a lot of time if my boss was driving, or if I was a kid and was stuck in the back seat while we're on our way to our lake house or the equestrian event or whatever you would use this truck for. So now that we're done looking at the outside, I'm gonna take you on a tour of the interior of the GMC Sierra HD Denali Ultimate, because I think this is the main reason why you would buy this truck over one of the lesser 2500 models. This is the nicest interior that I have ever seen on a General Motors HD truck by far. This is the nicest cabin they've ever done. It is full of tech, it is full of luxury. We are going to get a standard 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster here in the center. That adds a nice touch of modernity here. You're also even going to get a 15-inch head-up display. That is really nice on a truck like this, so you can see your speed while you're towing. You don't even have to look down at the gauges. You're gonna get this nice heated leather-wrapped steering wheel. You also have this really nice trim here on the dash. It's sort of like a mesh finish. We also have this really cool wood on the dash here. You're gonna see all the way over here by the passenger side, you've got the topography showing the like peak of Mount Denali, which is like the highest peak in America. That is like why, you know, the Denali is named as such. We've got this beautiful stitching here on the door. You can only get one color choice on the interior on the Denali Ultimate, and it is going to be this really nice Alpine Umber is what they call it. I was just going to call it brown, but I'd rather use the exact GMC terms. So you get this really nice stitch pattern here. You can see we've got some like thicker stitching here on the seat. We've got this white piping as well. You've got kind of like a darker brown here on the side. We've got these nice badges in the seats that say Ultimate on them. Again, we've got the topography, and we also have like the coordinates of Mount Denali on there on that little badge. It's a nice little badge. And these are 16-way power seats with massage function as well. You might wonder, why would you want a massage seat in a truck? Well, these are driven very, very long distances, so the massage seats really do keep you in the seat for a little longer, and that is important when you're doing long distance towing with a vehicle like this. Now, the base trucks, the 2500 series trucks, are going to have a tiny little 7-inch display. You can also upgrade to an 8-inch display, but we've got the big boy, the 13.4-inch display that comes standard on the Denali Ultimate. Obviously, you're spending money for the best truck. You want the best screen. This screen is really good. We've seen it in other vehicles. Go watch my Hummer review or a lot of my other GM truck reviews if you want to see more about this screen. It is Android Automotive powered, which means we've got wireless Android Auto, wireless CarPlay. We've got Google Maps as our map provider, which I think is really nice. I love using Google Maps because it just works really, really well. You also have Google Voice Assistant, so you can ask it kind of anything. You've got a split screen here, which is pretty useful as well. You also have amazing cameras. GM does just some of the best cameras when you're towing with this truck, when you're parking it, because it is freaking massive. You are going to want this. You really need a towing system like this, you know, just great cameras that you can view tons of different angles. Really makes it a lot easier to park and tow with. I really only have like 2 complaints with this system. One is it's a little slow to start, although I think that's partially due to this being a press car and they didn't set it up with a Google account yet, so I have to like log in as a guest So I think that's part of my problem. And the other problem is something that GMC probably didn't think about when it added a bigger screen, and that is with this big chunky shifter that you get on the 2500 series. You get a different shifter on the 1500 series, I think, or actually maybe they still do use a column shifter. But when you put it into drive specifically, you're gonna see that a good portion of this touchscreen is blocked to me, and that is actually kind of important because so there's my home button being blocked, and then my radio functions, when I have it on the radio, like the first two are gonna be blocked there. It's just like a little thing, but like it's definitely something that I'm sure they weren't thinking of, and they could have fixed it pretty easily, because look what happens when I go into low. Now I can see the whole screen. So this is my, like, you know, my manual mode where I can shift gears on the transmission. If they would have just moved everything like a ½ inch down, so drive was here and then maybe low was just like a little bit lower than that, this wouldn't have been an issue at all. But this is the main position you're going to be driving in, and it blocks the screen, which is a little bit annoying. I can talk a little bit about the climate controls. We've got heated and ventilated seats. I've already mentioned the massage. We've got dual zone climate control. Obviously, you'd expect that in a luxury truck. We've got some of our controls for our parking sensors, our lane keep assist. It's more of like a passive system, but it does vibrate the seat when you stray out of your lane, which if you're not used to driving a truck like this, you probably will. You've got your exhaust brake here. You've got your hill descent control if you're doing any off-roading. If you are, I would probably suggest getting the AT4X version of the truck. You're going to get very similar amounts of luxury in here, but more off-road focus. We also have our digital mirror. That is super helpful on a big truck like this. We've got a moonroof, but not a panoramic one. A little bit disappointing, but I can kind of get why it doesn't have it on a big truck like this. And we do have our Bose audio system. It's 12 speakers around the cabin. These are some of the largest speakers I've ever seen. They're like bigger than my entire head. So this is a very nice interior, the best one that I've seen on an HD series truck. All right, so let's get our big boy out on the road and see how it drives. Now, the Sierra 2500, just like any HD truck, is going to have a specific use case in mind, and that is towing. If you are not using this vehicle for towing, I strongly recommend that you go buy yourself a 1500, a Sierra 1500, F-150, Ram 1500, whatever. The capability of this 2500 HD is going to be lost on you if you are not towing something frequently. These trucks have super beefed up suspension and crazy engines that are really made with towing in mind. That suspension is a lot less comfortable when you aren't towing something behind you or don't have stuff weighing down your bed. That being said, I will give GMC a lot of credit here, because this is one of the more comfortable HD trucks that I've driven. I have not had anything to tow this week. I don't have anything heavy weighing down the bed. And I will say that the ride comfort on this truck is still not bad. It's definitely not as cushy as a 1500, but it's really not bad. So I will give GMC a lot of credit for that. So if you're not towing, remember, 1500. But now let's talk about towing, because that is what this vehicle really is built for. So I'll tell you about the two engines that you can get on the GMC 2500, although this Sierra HD Denali Ultimate is only available with one of those engines. So the base engine is a 6.6 liter gasoline V8. Most of the trim levels are going to come with the gasoline V8 as standard. It produces 401 horsepower and 464 pound-feet of torque, and you now get a 10-speed automatic transmission with that, where I think you used to get an 8-speed. So the 10-speed is now standard across the range. But we're gonna talk about the diesel, because that's what we have in this truck, and it's the only one that's available on the Denali Ultimate. So 6.6 liter, just like the gas engine. It's a Duramax turbo diesel. Fire up that diesel, John Riggins. That reference is gonna come back into play. If you're a sports fan, we'll talk about that a little later. And it is also a V8, also mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now the diesel is the powertrain that you're gonna want for towing. It is much more potent than the gasoline V8. You get 470 horsepower and 975 pound-feet of torque. That is so much of that twisty stuff. That's actually up from last year's numbers. 445 horsepower and 910 pound-feet is what you used to get in the 2023 model. So that is heavily improved. GMC has improved the numbers by adding a more efficient turbocharger, improved engine braking from the turbo vane actuator, and added new valve springs. There are new cylinder heads with improved cooling jackets. You get higher flow injectors with more injection pressure. All of that means more power, more torque, more towing capability, more lower end torque. All the good stuff you want in a truck like this. Here are the numbers. You're gonna be able to tow about 22,000 pounds, just under, I think it's 21,900 on the 2500 HD Crew Cab, which is what we have here. If you want to tow up to 36,000 pounds, you've got to step up to the 3500 HD, which allows you to get a dually in the back. And now we can talk a little bit more about this diesel engine. I love GM's Duramax series of engines. I just recently drove a Suburban, which had an inline 6 diesel engine, and it was so great. You got like 30 miles per gallon in it. It was so smooth, it's very quiet. This is pretty quiet for a big truck engine like this. And I mentioned that I called this diesel John Riggins for a reason. It's fast. Let me put my foot down here. Woohoo! Whoa! Oh man, this thing goes like a freight train. It really gets up like really quickly to 60. All that torque, all that power, that 10-speed automatic transmission allows it to use all of that available torque because it has just such good ratios for it. Man, this thing is, it's a true performer, especially when you're not towing anything behind it. I'm sure that while you're towing, it's great for that too. It's just such effortless power. But trucks like this, these big heavy-duty diesels, used to be slow and noisy. Oh, now it's fast and noisy. Wow. If you wanted to, you could probably lay down a big smoky burnout in this truck. It's a really good engine. So if you are in need of towing 22,000 pounds and you want one of the most luxurious ways to do that, this is definitely up there with the HD series trucks. I think the Venn diagram of people who need to tow 22,000 pounds and the people who can afford this truck, because it is really expensive, we'll get to that a little bit later, is a very small sliver. I can think of a few types of people. If you have horses, those things are really heavy, but you're on your way to like an equestrian event, so you don't want to show up in like the plebeian spec truck. So obviously you got to get the Denali Ultimate with the massage seats and, you know, tow the horses in comfort. Maybe you have a boat, you're taking it to your lake house, and you know, you want to show up in style at the lake house, you know, because you don't want to be embarrassed driving like a regular HD truck. Again, I can't think of too many purposes where you would need this truck, but it is heavy enough that maybe you could write it off for your business. I just hope that if you're not using this for towing, that you just go with the 1500 series truck, because you get all the same luxuries that you get in here, you know, maybe actually even a little bit more, and you get a better ride. You can still get a diesel engine if you want. You'll probably go further on a tank in that truck too, and you'll be able to get Super Cruise for hands-free driving on the highway. So that is what I would personally buy if I needed a truck. But if you are the horse people or the boat people that I mentioned, this truck could be for you. All right, so that's going to wrap up our time with the 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 HD Denali Ultimate. It's a long name, but it is a lot of trucks. So let's talk about the 2500 series for the 2024 model year. It's going to be available in a decent number of trims. You can get the base Pro model, the SLE, the SLT, the AT4, which is going to be your sort of off-roady one, the Denali, which is where it's going to start getting very luxurious, the AT4X, where you combine a lot of the luxuries with the off-road, and then the Denali Ultimate that we reviewed in this video, where you get the most possible luxury. $46,295 is going to be your base. That is a Pro regular cab, not a lot in it, 7-inch touchscreen. If you want this Denali Ultimate, it's going to start at just under $92,000. $100,000. With a few options, you can get this truck to $100 grand. Like I said while we were driving it, I think that the use case for a truck like this is very narrow. You have to have the money to be able to afford it, but also the need to tow as much as this vehicle can pull. I think that there are a lot of smaller trucks that will probably do the job that you need. But again, like I said, if you have horses or a boat, you're towing them very long distance and you want to do it comfortably, there really aren't too many other options besides something like this. It is the best way to tow a heavy amount over a long distance in ultimate comfort. I really hope you've enjoyed this look at the 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 Denali Ultimate. For more videos like it, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to be alerted of our latest videos. And if you want to read more about this truck, be sure to go on carbuzz.com. I'll see you next time.